What's going on, everybody? James here, and I'll pull up this video and play it and see what it's about. I just ended up eating a chili dog from Dairy Queen, and lo and behold, I just went on YouTube to not even search, just look at my page, and this Oklahoma hot dog business still booming after photo of owner waiting at the door goes viral popped up. I'm like, who's watching me? So I'm like, this feels like a feel good story. So I wanted to check this out. And I'm like, well, let's just share the video also. So if it's a business, maybe it'll give them some more publicity, if you will.
Is worth 1,000 words, and in the case of the Norman restaurant owner, that is absolutely true. One photograph helped turn around his struggling business. It's a remarkable story, and who better to tell it than Steve Shaw? Steve.
Rich, the power of social media took front and center back in December when two men who never met crossed paths at Spirals, Hot Dogs, and More on Main Street in Norman. Scott Hosick has spent his 40-year career in the Oklahoma restaurant business, years that included stints in Stillwater, Oklahoma City, and Norman. Holy moly, peanut butter on a hot dog.
It'll change your life.
Scott opened Spirals Specialty Hot Dogs and More in August of 2020 during the global pandemic.
I had the name, I had the recipes, I had it all.
How'd you come up with Spirals?
Believe it or not, again, I just felt like God just told me this is what you're going to call it. This is what you're going to do.
Hosick says business was hit or miss. Has the king been in here?
The king?
Barry Switzer.
Not yet. Barry Switzer. None of the big dogs have been here. Toby Keith was in here once, and that was pretty amazing.
I don't know who Barry Switzer is.
I kept looking back at him because I was on the grill, and finally I said, don't take this wrong, but if I was a gambling man, I'd say you kind of look like Toby Keith, and I hear that'd be a good guess, and I was like, oh my God. The base dog is probably the #1 bestseller. Cream cheese, chili, white cheddar sauce.
Unfortunately, even after the pandemic ended, business continued to lag, as it did for many businesses following the pandemic. Hosick last fall even contemplated going out of business. What adds another layer to this, and quite frankly, makes it more incredible.
Like, hot dogs have been a part of my life forever. I mean, growing up poor, hot dogs was either bologna and cheese sandwich or a hot dog. So I got a soft spot for hot dogs. Not so much bologna, but hot dogs, yes.
Scott, last October, suffered a serious health scare. He had a stroke.
I never really thought of being in stress, but my wife will tell me that I was.
Then, on December 20th, just after Spirals opened for the day, a first-time customer, Nick Chappell, really liked his food and snapped this photo. It's just inside the front door of the restaurant with Scott Hosick staring out.
That's kind of cool. I mean, can you imagine just like one little action can change somebody's life with the way online is these days? Just one little action, one person sharing a picture. Let's see what happens.
Side.
And it was just really slow. And I was kind of looking out the window, and I'm thinking of all the businesses that are going on right now. We're really slow today, while everybody else is probably not.
Chappell, who's also a 14-year member of the National Guard's 45th.
I like the bathroom signs. Women spelled out in mustard, men spelled out in ketchup. Smelling like a hot dog in here. I'm guessing that's what it says.
Infantry Brigade combat team sent that photo to friends.
Oh, there you
One
go.
of them urged Nick to post it on Facebook.
So it was a little back and forth with my own emotions if I should make the post or not, because I didn't want it to seem like a moment of weakness or anything. But I mean, it also was a great time to try to get customers in the door for him.
A leap of faith.
Yeah.
The photo went viral.
Did you see that? He has the photo up here. I'm guessing that's a poster. He had a poster made of the photo. That's pretty cool. I'll have to remember this next time I go through Oklahoma.
To try to get customers in the door for him.
A leap of faith.
Yeah.
The photo went viral. Less than 24 hours later, Hosick's restaurant was packed.
Nice.
Chappell's social media post was shared throughout the military. Word of what transpired made national news, even hit USA Today and the Daily Mail in Britain. For
one picture set off this domino effect. That's pretty powerful, right?
Time, it really was a worldwide phenomenon.
So now I was like, Jesus Christ, what happened?
Hosick says Spiral's business has been steady ever since, which means everything in the restaurant business.
Thanks, sir.
By and large, on a normal day, a slow day might be $400 or $500 in a day. On a busy day, we might do $1,000, $1,300. Now we're doing $1,100 to $1,200 on a slow day, and we're doing $2,000 to $3,000 on a busy day.
Wow. So $3,000 on a busy day. With all that overhead, though, wow. Consistency, I guess.
Going to keep you going.
It could very well keep me going. And quite honestly, we were talking about shutting it completely down.
In Nick Chappell's honor, Spiral's named a new specialty hot dog after him called the Thunderbird, which has jalapenos, cream cheese, and bacon. It pays homage to Chappell's National Guard group. You made a new friend.
Definitely have. Coming in here, I mean, I don't know if you got to see the smile on my face when I walked in the door, but it feels natural.
Thank you so very, very much.
And don't look now, but Tuesday, 52-year-old Norman resident Betty Gatewood stopped by to give Scott her family's century-old corn dog recipe.
And it's from my family back in Texas, and I've had it all these years, and only my children and a few people I've ever shared it with.
That's cool.
But I told him, I said, you're the one person, being an individual and the kind of person you are, that if you want to try corn dogs in here, I'll bring you the recipe.
We've added 4 more employees too, which
that is awesome.
Is a big venture.
Nick Chappell spent some of his teenage years
like these kind of stories just give me chills, right? They just send a chill down my spine. Just how freaking cool something so simple, a simple gesture can do.
In foster care. It was tough. He's now married and has a 7-year-old son who last week started practice on his baseball team. Scott Hosick is sponsoring that team.
Nice.
We have a lot of new regulars, and every day, at least once a day, we have people that will want to tell me where they're from, that they've never been here before, and that they've heard about us, and they've just kind of been waiting for it to die down so they could come in, which is really sweet.
Ed Hatch is a regular.
His red sauce, very New Yorkish style, really good. So it's great to have something different for a change. It's also a very friendly place to come into.
Ed says he was a Spiral's customer even before all of this because it's just good food. Good things happen to good people.
That's right, it does. So it's one of those things where he's got a good following. We love coming in here, and it's just good food.
Right now, we look at everything that's happened with this. We look at it and we say, but God did this and God did that. This was our church for a little while. I mean, and so here we were talking about closing down, and then, but God.
Hosick spent some of his career.
I would say it was more than God. It was a picture. I mean, a single picture from a person turned this business around. That's, in my opinion, that's not God. That's the power of humans when we do good for each other.
We're managing a Chi-Chi's Mexican restaurant in Oklahoma City. And you better believe he's going to be using Betty Gatewood's corn dog recipe and maybe add it to Spiral's menu. Rich?
Steve, I will take 2.
Interesting. That is very cool. Thought that was going to be a nice little feel-good video, so I decided to hit record and do kind of a reaction that I've never really done before. So, see what that's pretty cool. So, yeah, if you're in or around Norman, Oklahoma, Spirals, Hot Dogs, and more. Go check them out. And I'll definitely have to remember next time I go through Oklahoma to have a stop and see. All right, I'm back to work. Thanks, everybody, and I'll see you all in the next video. Later.